Welcome to Relationship Realities with
Roland
and Reyna. We're going to be bringing you a little funny, a little crazy, and a whole lot of reality.
Hey, welcome back, guys. It's been a while.
Welcome back, everybody. I can't believe that it has been a year since we first started the podcast.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what we decided we were going to do this week is we were going to kind of take a look at everything that's happened over the past year and what we envision moving forward.
Yeah.
In case you guys didn't know, we actually moved this past year, and it wasn't just a move, it was a move across country.
Yeah, exactly.
So we moved from the East Coast out here to the West Coast, and it was pretty stressful.
Very. It wasn't pretty. It was very, very.
Roland had not really been out here to the West Coast. This was probably the furthest that he'd ever moved. So it obviously created quite a bit of stress on our relationship. The build up to the moving, the actual moving, and then even into us being here, just because it was something so unfamiliar to Roland.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's been difficult, but it's been different. I mean, the lifestyle is different out here. Everything's different.
Are you saying that it's better? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's different. When you grow up for like 30 years or whatever in the same place and you move, huge change.
Right. So. Especially on a completely opposite coast. It's not like we just moved neighborhoods.
Exactly. Or counties. Or
right. Yeah. Exactly. So like I was saying earlier, it was extremely stressful just because, like I said, we were dealing with the fact that, Roland had never really been outside of his comfort zone, so to speak. And so this was a pretty significant move for us. I have moved quite often, obviously moving from the West Coast to the East Coast for work. So the move really wasn't that big of a deal to me. But one of the things that I needed to remember and that I tried to remember was how stressful it was for Roland. So that was one thing that anytime that I felt kind of overwhelmed, I just remembered that it was definitely worse for Roland, and it helped to kind of calm me down,
Yeah. So one of the things I think was the biggest stress factor for me was probably just not knowing anybody, when you come to an area, you don't know the area. You can get to know the area. It's not very hard,
Mm-hmm.
You just follow your GPS for a couple of weeks and you're like, oh, let me try it without one, right? But when it comes to not knowing people, anywhere, I mean,
that can be really scary.
Yeah. I mean, it's different. And you don't know their personality. Like you can kind of.
Like their social norms?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like society in the area in general. And, you might have seen things on television and stuff like that, but, TV isn't reality.
Right, exactly.
Right. So, I don't know. I guess it, as time has gone on, we've been here, 3-4 months. So, the people out here are pretty cool. Drivers are a lot better. That doesn't stress me out as much as it was on the East Coast. So,
yeah.
But no, I think it's been a really good change.
Mm-hmm.
After I wrap my head around everything. So,
right. Yeah. It's different, like you said, and definitely I can understand the piece about not knowing anybody, because it was kind of the same when I moved out to the East Coast. Luckily, I had a good friend that I stayed with when I first got out there. So that was pretty much kind of like my lifeline. And other than her and, her husband and kids, I knew nobody. Yeah. So I can definitely understand where you really don't know if the people are nice, if they're not nice, like how to go about making friends or where to meet friends. And, it's funny, as adults, we don't have the same types of things that kids do or teenagers do. It's not like we go to school, so that's a social meeting place. Right. We don't go to the arcade, or we don't go to, bowling or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a lot different as adults to meet people, and you really have to kind of put yourself out there and go to some different types of events, like taking a dance class or taking an art class or, something where you would have to be social.
Right.
And even then, it's not for sure, because I think we are becoming a society that is very introverted. Most people are into their cell phones or their electronic devices, and they're not really sure how to be social. So it makes it that much more difficult.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And like, you probably heard the line of like, if you just like pick up and start somewhere else, you can be whoever you want to be. That's true in a sense, but you're still yourself, right? You're really not going to change that much unless I don't even know, but you're still living with what you're living with, mentally and stuff. So you're still the same person. So going out and doing things that you normally wouldn't do can be difficult, but it can be rewarding at the same time, So
yeah, because I think, and that's a really good point. I think some of us that live in the same place or around the same people or have the same group of friends tend to have the same issues. Like if, for example, and this is definitely not true, not the case, but if I wanted to try to learn how to play piano and I had a group of friends that were very negative, that were like, what are you doing that for? And would make fun of me. It would make me not want to try it.
Right.
Whereas if I was someplace completely different and I wanted to do that, I don't have those negative influences.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I said, that's definitely not the case right in my life, but that's something that I'm sure a lot of people face,
Yeah. Yeah, the people that are around you highly influence everything that you do. So,
whether you realize it or not.
Yeah. I'm sure if you think about it really hard and you analyze it, you're generally who you hang around with. That's
right.
Who you
absolutely
end up being,
agree.
So.
So you're pretty awesome, then, is what you're saying.
Oh, what are you saying?
That I'm pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Pretty awesome. So, like we were saying, obviously moving can be extremely stressful, and not just moving, but moving across country. And it was definitely a fun trip. We drove across.
Yeah.
It took us a few days. We were going to take a little bit longer because we wanted to see quite a few different things on the way out here. But we decided to cut it short because after you've been in the car for a couple of days, it's tiring and you just want to get to where you're going.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there are people, I do know people that love taking long drives and long cross-country drives, and they really make an adventure out of it, which is great. More power to them. But I felt like we were kind of under a different set of circumstances and a timeline, so we really needed to get over here. But we were able to see some things along the way, and we got to see the Painted Desert, and we got to see, what else did we see on the way out here?
Cadillac Graveyard.
Oh, yeah, we got to see the Cadillac Graveyard in Texas. We have all of those pictures up on our website too, if you guys want to take a look at some of our adventures. All that stuff is up on our website, rrwithrr.com. And it's a little article about our trip across country. We probably won't be driving across country anytime soon again. But we definitely will keep you guys up to date with our different adventures. California is definitely different than the East Coast. Our adventures are a lot more limited out here than they were on the East Coast, unfortunately. But we will definitely continue to post everything up on our website and our social media. And of course, you can get to all of our social media, our YouTube and all the Instagram from our website, rrwithrr.com.
Yeah.
So one of the things about being out here in California is that my social network is grounded here. This obviously is where I'm from, where I grew up, and where I spent quite a bit of my life. So I've grown my network here. And I have some of the most amazing, awesome people in my world. And a lot of them have offered to be in an episode. And so over the next several weeks, you guys are going to hear from different people and their experiences and relationships, and their divorces and their dating after divorces, and what it's like to be in your 30s or 40s with no kids, and people asking you, why don't you have kids, when are you going to get married, and those different types of things that people face, that I'm sure a lot of you out there face as well. It's definitely
relatable.
And that's really what we aim to do, is we want to give you guys relatable experiences so that you know that you're not alone, and that other people, you listen and you're like, hey, I'm going through that too. What is that person doing to help mitigate or help get through whatever it is that they're getting through? And, that's our aim, because not every relationship is exactly the same. Everybody has very different experiences. And that's what we're trying to bring to you, is quite literally relationship realities.
Yes.
And whether it's, a divorced couple, or it's a single person, or it's somebody that just got out of a divorce and is trying to get into the dating scene again, whether it's a mom that is a businesswoman or a career woman, a business owner that, is trying to raise her kids, a single parent, or whether it's a single guy that's a single dad. These are all experiences that we want to bring to you guys. So maybe you can empathize and, hear your own story or relate to that person. So that is the exciting stuff that we're going to be bringing to you over the next several weeks or several months. And, obviously Roland will pop in every so often, and, you'll hear from both of us at the same time. But for the most part, we're definitely going to be trying to bring in other people to offer their experiences as well, just so that you have a well-rounded listening experience.
Yeah.
So be sure to follow us on our website, rrwithrr.com. And from there, you can find the podcast. Obviously, you found us. You can find our other social media links, our YouTube, and other articles and stuff that we've written. So that way you guys can keep up to date. And if you miss an episode, you know exactly where to go to get to that episode. And you can also find us on iTunes and Podbean, of course. But we appreciate you guys very much. And we love the fact that you guys are still here and you're still listening, and we receive messages from you guys, giving your support, and that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So until next week, guys.
See you guys.
See ya.